Right. So Governor J.B. Pritzker in Davos, Switzerland, a media call that he had with members of the media. I got that first question. Here's how that sounded.
Governor, if you could just address some of the critics back here at home. Greg Bishop, the Center Square Illinois Radio Network. Some of the critics from downstate say that you're, quote, hobnobbing with global elites while being out of touch with those back home who can't afford heating costs. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first and foremost, we're here to highlight for the world the state's progress, the progress in building our economy, the progress in our focus on fiscal responsibility, and, of course, our progress in development of clean energy. It's important for Illinois to be seen on the world stage as a destination for the companies that exist across the world. Some of them already are doing business in Illinois. Some of them are thinking about where they want to put their operations in Illinois. The countries that are represented here are thinking about what states they want to be aligned with and work with, and as their companies in their states are looking about their next, building of factories and plants and so on. They should know we have a record and that we're a leading state. That's why it is important for a leader of Illinois to show up in places outside of Illinois. That's how you attract business and let people know what a great state we really are.
So again, Governor J.B. Pritzker taking questions from members of the media yesterday, and the first question I was able to ask there was his response to those, like State Representative Adam Niemerg, who says that the governor is gallivanting and hobnobbing with the global elite to push for a leftist globalist agenda, his critics say. But the governor was also asked by others about, who are you talking with? What businesses are you talking with? I think Nabisco's name came up. He also, while in Europe, made a trip over to the Wieland manufacturing company in Germany. Apparently, Wieland has at least like 5 different operations in Illinois. So he said that was important because he needed to, try to foster more development in Illinois from that large multinational manufacturer. So interesting to hear some of that as well. But also he talked about, trying to focus on different new industries, biotechnology, electric vehicles. He even discussed a little bit about hydrogen. So some of the things that the governor laying out there on his trip to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. But my colleague who's in public TV up in the Chicagoland area, Amanda Vinicky, she had a question for the governor, actually a couple of questions for the governor later on in that press call. And she asked about, number one, the cost, who's paying for this trip? And number two, what about, everybody's saying you're looking to run for president?
Give us a little more details on Davos, including who paid for you and the rest of the Illinois delegation, what the cost to the Illinois budget would be for that. And then also there is a report today in Politico that, quote, overheard Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker talking at high volume in the central lounge of the Congress Center about his future political career, including a possible White House bid. Is that an accurate report that you were overheard making comments in the Congress Center, whatever that is?
Let's see. I guess I'll take the second one first. No, I was interviewed by one of your colleagues in another news organization, and they asked me all about Illinois, and eventually they got around to asking the question that you all have asked me about being mentioned as a possible presidential candidate, and I was simply responding, as I have to you, that I have every intention to serve out the 4 years that I just won as governor, and that we have a lot of challenges in Illinois that we're going to continue to work on overcoming, and lots of success already. And so to the extent anybody overheard something, it was literally the answer that I was giving to that question that you all have asked me before. And then you asked about how it's paid for. I'm paying for myself. My wife is here as well, and much of the trip is being covered by me. And of course, there's security need, so that's covered by the state of Illinois. And I guess I can get you a more extensive answer, but the fact of the matter is that much of it is covered by me personally.
So again, I think, we are going to have to get that extensive answer because previously the governor had traveled to Europe for the UN climate change conference last year, if you recall. One of my colleagues, Brett Rowland with the Center Square, he investigated that and got FOIA documents back that showed that trip cost taxpayers $14,000+. At least that much. We still have yet to find out how much the security costs were for that trip overseas to the UN climate change conference. So will we actually get the true cost of the governor's trip to Davos, Switzerland? He says he's covering, quote, much of it, but it was he, his wife, his chief of staff, and also 2 deputy governors that went along. Were their trips paid for by the governor? What kind of questions are raised there about, gifts? And should workers for the state of Illinois receive those types of gifts? The governor's already doubling the salary of some of his chief advisors, so they're getting paid not just by the taxpayers, but also by the governor's own wealth. This is a governor who spent $350 million to get elected twice in the state of Illinois. $350 million. That's rivaling that of the presidential elections. So that's another thing that's adding to people thinking that the governor is just lining up to run for the White House. So all of this, of course, how much is it going to cost you, the taxpayer? How much are you paying for security costs? Will we actually get that number? We shall see. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that and more. And get your reaction, as always, to all of this. You can email bishoponair@gmail.com. You can call in live at 217-629-7970. You can also email and find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. All right.